The Swanage Railway is an integral part of the Isle of Purbeck. However, falling passenger numbers and an increase in running costs are putting the post-COVID recovery in jeopardy. In this new series, I will go behind the scenes of the railway to understand the complex and challenging situation the railway is in and how it plans to fight back. Your support is as important now as it was during the pandemic in helping the railway survive and then thrive into the future. We just can't let all of our successes go to waste. Today, I'll take a candid look into why we are continuing the fight to survive. I'll interview our new Trust Chairman, Frank Roberts, to discuss our current situation, which has been compounded by external factors outside of the railway's control. So Frank, the railway is going through a difficult time. Can you give me an overview of the challenges that the railway is facing?
So it hardly seems possible, but it is 4 years since the start of the pandemic. We used to pride ourselves in carrying well over 200,000 passengers a year. We were in the top 5 heritage lines in the country, but things have changed. So that sort of level of patronage was in 2015. And passenger numbers were falling before the pandemic, and then of course things totally changed. Since the pandemic, life for everybody has changed. We've had the war in Ukraine, which is still going on. We had ITN came down at the start of this appeal, and they were asking me questions about this and that, stuff like that. And then we pointed out the price of coal, which has skyrocketed. And I went, oh, blimey. And they did the whole piece then on the price of coal and how that has affected not only us, but other railways across the UK. So people's outlook is different. And the bottom line is we have struggled to get the same number of visitors to the Swanage Railway.
So how much money do we need to raise, and when do we need to raise it by?
We launched an appeal really at our AGM in October with a soft launch, and we said basically, you know, we need to raise £250,000, but we've upped that. And the reason why I've upped that to £450,000 is because we took out a loan to help us through the aftermath of the pandemic, which we have to pay back. So that's why overnight, and some of the railway press caught onto this, they're saying, well, why is Swanage Railway up the game plan? So it's open-ended, but we as part of the family of things that we're doing need to raise a considerable amount of money to pave the way for our future. And when we're talking about future, at the moment we're looking at a 3-year plan. So that's this year, next year and the year after, which we hope will lead us into or part of our governance review, where we hope to restructure what the Swanage Railway is all about.
At this current time for the £450,000, is that in the 3 years or a shorter period of time?
Yeah, that needs to be as soon as we can. Fundamentally, we're in survival mode because that's what we need to do. All of our staff are on side with that now, and we're hoping that, you know, the wider membership and people outside the railway understand that actually, along with a lot of other railway lines, and in fact when we launched our appeal, the North Yorkshire Moors Railway were launching a similar appeal at the same time, and other people will have read about, you know, larger railways than ours who've gone through problems. So we're not alone.
You mentioned making changes to the business. Can you give me a little more detail on what the railway is doing to cut costs?
So without a shadow of a doubt, it's been a very difficult 3 months for many people, and actually pretty painful for members of paid staff. And of course, this isn't the first time we've done this. This is the 3rd time we've had to go through this assessment of our costs, around staffing. So it is a massive problem for us, but we're determined to get through it, and I know that we will get through it. I mean, you know, we ran trains to Wareham last year, and that's a great thing to do. But most people don't understand that to keep that operation going, you know, well, we in 2014, we got an extra section of track from Norden up to Walgett Junction. That has to be paid for. We have to maintain that as a safe operational railway. And, you know, it adds to the burden of the Swanage Railway. Just going back to the redundancies, I was part of the redundancy programme in 1990. It was painful then, and it's painful now. But we will get through this. And I'm very confident that this new 3-year plan, which we're developing, will be fantastic for the railway, the stakeholders, and most importantly, our passengers. And when they come to the railway, they will get something that the people on the buses will not get.
So it sounds like you have high hopes for the future.
Definitely. I mean, I've helped to write the plan, and I'm convinced it's going to work. We need to get more volunteers on side. Pull out the best things about the Swanage Railway, which we've done before. We've had many challenges over the years. But I just want to be able to turn around next summer to lots of people and say, yeah, we had a pretty bad winter, but look at us now. We've definitely moved things around, and we're moving forward. Some of the events that we've got planned, the new events will be fantastic. The old ones will be there. The Diesel Gala weekend is my favourite weekend of the year, where lots of people come down here. They're not interested in railways, half of them. They like beer, but they like people. And I look forward to that. This year we'll also celebrate 40 years since the Army came to put telecoms in between Swanage and Hurston, and that'll be fantastic too. So, we've had lots of challenges over the year, and we just got to make it good, and we will, I'm convinced.
So some people might ask why we should save the railway. Up to September of 2023, we had carried 136,000 passengers, including our Wareham service, which is no small achievement. The standout, however, has been the return to steam of 563 for the first time in 75 years, to a fanfare celebration back in October of last year. Not only is this a beautiful and unique asset for the railway to have, it will also help us to reduce our running costs. This is because the T3 was gifted to us by the National Rail Museum, meaning that we don't have to pay hire fees unlike our other locomotives. Other positives are that we now have a fully operational mainline connection, a superb engineering team who continue to outshop locomotives to the highest of mechanical standards, over 400 active volunteers, and the latest addition to the Swanage Railway calendar, the Polar Express, which has proved to be a very popular experience. I've just outlined some of our achievements since the pandemic, not to mention the previous 40 years of blood, sweat and tears that have gone into building the railway up to what you see today. I hope you will agree that there are many reasons to continue to fight for the Swanage Railway. Whilst on the subject of fundraising, it would be amiss of me not to discuss our successful campaign to raise money for a new carriage shed in 2021. Let's head over to the foundations to talk with Swanage Railway Trustee and Quantity Surveyor Alex Atkins, who is now leading this project. Hi Alex, thank you for joining me. I was stood here back in 2021 to launch the new Carriage Shed Appeal. Can you tell me why the shed has not been built yet?
A combination of factors, Josh. Primarily the site conditions that we face here where the carriage shed is going to be built, and also COVID-19 and the legacy issues that we've had to face with that. Initially, when we started construction in the winter of 2019, we had weeks of wet weather, which turned the site into an unworkable quagmire effectively. Coupled with that, in March 2020, as we remember, COVID-19 broke out, which subsequently put all construction efforts on a complete hold. In addition to that, further COVID-19 outbreaks further hindered progress, which have prohibited us from effectively delivering the project. As an example, we were poised to recommence the project in January 2022, with the funds raised from the Carriage Shed Appeal of 2021, with a view of completing in January 23. Unfortunately, due to the resurgence of the Omicron variant and the various lockdowns that we subsequently had to face from that, again, it just recycled the issues that we were faced in 2020 when COVID-19 first came round. Now that 3 years have passed, unfortunately, we are in a position where we've had to terminate the contract with our original supplier, and we're effectively having to start the programme from scratch, find new suppliers, and completely restart and kickstart the programme again.
And this is an important question. Can you tell me what has happened to the public money that was donated to the project?
Of course, it's completely ring-fenced by the Trust and it will be entirely used for the delivery of this project. We've currently set aside $280,000 for the delivery of the carriage shed, $70,000 of which has been contributed by the Trust and other income streams, and will be used again exclusively to deliver the carriage shed. The money is safe, it's there, and it will be used exclusively for this.
Can you tell me what are the current barriers to completing the shed?
So first and foremost, as so much time has elapsed since we were originally meant to complete the shed, before we recommence, it's important that we consolidate our position with both Dorset Council planning and also building control.
Are there any other barriers to completing the project?
The next stage is we need to retender the project. As so much time has elapsed since we were due to complete, we naturally need to find a new contractor as we terminated our contract with our original one. We need to find a new installer, agree a construction programme and look towards agreeing a price, which can naturally take some time.
Finally, what is being done by the railway to ensure that the project is completed?
We're working very closely with our colleagues over at Dorset Council to ensure that the last outstanding items are consolidated and sorted before we recommence work. Once everything's in place, we can then crack on, retender and get work back underway.
Thank you, Alex. That provides much needed clarification to those that have supported the project. I look forward to work recommencing soon. We hope this provides you with some clarity about what is currently going on at the railway. Next time, we'll look into some of the winter maintenance projects going on and working together with other railways. I'll also get an update on our Wareham service and see how the railway is continuing its fight to guarantee its longevity. To donate online, please visit swanagerrailwaytrust.enthuse.com/Save Your Railway. For alternative methods, please visit www.swanagerrailwaytrust.org/giving. Thank you.